Mr. Hissner here, and today we are going to move on to triangle proofs. Now, as we started proofs in the last section, we started with segment proofs, and this way that we're going to prove that two triangles are congruent are through their segment pieces. This is called side, side, side. And what we will see is that we need to prove that the three sides rather, are congruent, and I'm just going to highlight these. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So we have to prove side 1 is congruent to side 1, side 2 is congruent to side 2, and side 3 is congruent to side 3. And those statements look like this. AB is congruent to DE. We have in green, BC is congruent to EF. And we also have CA is congruent to FD. Now, notice I'm going this way. And that is particular, but that is the way that we do it. And then once we have that, we can say the triangle on the left, triangle ABC, is congruent to the triangle on the right, triangle DEF. And again, I'm using their corresponding parts. So this is the idea. We're taking the three sides and we're saying that they are congruent. Now let us look at our first proof. This is our figure. And what we have is a bunch of given information. Now I'm going to count the pieces of given information. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what I'm going to do, count the pieces of given information, and then I'm going to write given in here and see if we can figure out what is missing. So we have all this stuff, right? We have all this stuff. So now I'm going to mark this on my figure. PQ is congruent to ST, 1. QR is congruent to TR, 2. So I need one more side. And then finally we're told that R is the midpoint. And so I'm looking at this figure now. What is special about R being the midpoint? What does a midpoint do to an entire segment? Well, a midpoint splits the segment directly in half. A midpoint halves the segment. It splits the segment directly in half. And so that means that PR is equal to RS. And by the definition of congruence, that means that PR, the segment, is congruent to RS, the segment. That is what a midpoint does. And so because this is the midpoint, these sides are the same. And so we have side 1, side 2, side 3. Side 1, side 2, side 3. Because all three sides of these two triangles are congruent, we know that the triangle is also, the two triangles are congruent. So why can we say that PR is congruent to RS? Well, it's because that is the midpoint, because R is the midpoint. This is literally the definition of the midpoint. That's what the midpoint says. It says that the one segment and the other segment are congruent. Their measures are equal. And so we can say that the two triangles are congruent by side, side, side. We're going to take a look at a few more examples like this, but hopefully this is a glimpse into how these side, side, side proofs take place.